What's up guys, Light Swarm Magician here again, and I'm doing kind of a follow-up video to my Dark Simorgh deck profile, which is Know Your Dark Simorgh, I think I'll call this. But basically, some people might not know how to play the deck, some people might not know obviously what my key combos are. So I figured with the deck list up already, I'd explain kind of how each of the cards work in Symphony, and through testing what I found to be the best ways to do things, and how cards work. So the first guy up here in the corner is our buddy Dark Simorgh. Now, for those of you who don't know what he does, and I should have mentioned this yesterday, it says, while this card is face up in the field, its attribute is also treated as wind. You can banish a dark and a wind monster from your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. Or, you can banish a dark and a wind monster from your hand to special summon this card from your graveyard. Your opponent cannot set any cards in the field. So it's awesome. It's kind of like a Light Pulsar Dragon for Dark Winds, which is obviously why the deck's built so weird, It is kind of weird with some of the random wind support, like the Tricky and the Stratos, and then coming down here to Guardian Yados. But, unfortunately, wind is one of the least supported attributes in the game. So dropping this guy can be a bit of a hassle in certain decks, but in this deck, it's designed to do it, and it works perfectly. Basically, the whole purpose of the deck is to get him either in the graveyard or in your hand, and then on the field as fast as you can. That's what you want to do. You want to make it so your opponent can't set cards, because especially coming up when heroes are going to be a big deck, that's going to be a huge disadvantage. So how do we do that? 3 cards. We have Foolish Burial, pretty self-explanatory. Sends any monster from your deck to the graveyard. You drop this guy. If you have a Wind and a Dark in your hand, banish him, special summon it. There you go. If not, normal summon Armageddon Knight. Send any dark monster. Hey, guess what? He's a dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. So plop, there you go, plop on the board, Merry Christmas. And then the last card is Card Trooper. Card Trooper might mill it, who knows? And even if it doesn't mill it, when it's destroyed you might get to draw the card, and that card might just be Dark Simorgh, You need to focus on your draw engines, which is where we come sort of in with an engine that's coming up a little later. Next up, I have Plague Spreader Zombie. Now this card's another target for either Armageddon Knight or Foolish Burial, and this card is like your MVP tuner. It's the only tuner that you really run unless you play Effect Failures, which I sideboard. And this card gets you all your synchro plays. You top deck another card to special summon him from your graveyard once per turn, and then he banishes when he leaves the field then. So he's a one-time use, but he's really, really cool. Or two-time use, I should say. Sync, top deck, sync, But you can get him back with cards like Levier, which will come up later. But one of the coolest combos I found is with this card, Arcanite Magician. I finally picked up a Duelist League Blue Rare from one of my friends at Locals, so thank you to him for that. And I finally remembered that this guy, the Tricky, is a level 5 and he's a spellcaster, and you have to discard a card to special summon him. So with Tricky and Plague Spreader, you discard Plague Spreader to special summon Tricky, top deck a card to bring back this, synchro for 7, boom, you have an instant Arcanite. You get to destroy 2 cards on their side of the field, or have a 2400 beat stick, which is really awesome, and this card's so good. It's just puts in so much work. But the next thing is Plague Spreader and Destiny Hero Malicious, which also links with the next engine. These two are your synchro engine. These get you to your 3 level 8s, which are Dark End Dragon. This guy is freaking awesome, seriously. Basically, when you synchro summon him, you can once per turn, lose 500 attack and defense off this card, and send, not destroy, send one monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. So this gets over Zenmaines, over Stardust, anything, and it only goes down to a 2100. And you can use this effect 4 times because it has 2000 defense. So that's pretty sick if you can protect him. I mean, it's free monster destruction once per turn. Next is Thought Ruler. This card is so good still. Basically, when it destroys something, you gain life points equal to the monster's attack. So no matter what position it is, let's say even if you destroy, like, something with 200 defense, but it has 2300 attack, like a Set or Book of Moon Celestia or something, like I'm using an example from my friend's duel, you gain 2300 life points. Doesn't matter what position it was, but you gain 2300. This thing causes so much problems. Plus, you can also pay 1000 life points to negate anything that targets this or any psychic type you have, which is awesome. So no Book of Moon, no Forbidden Lance, no Dimensional Prison, anything like that. You can just get over it and still go through with your attacks. And lastly is the old classic Stardust Dragon. Basically, it's a wind-type dragon, and it protects your stuff. and you really need the protection in this. You can play Starlight Road, but I don't think it was worth it. I tried that out originally, and it wasn't worth it, you know, because you're setting so much, and your opponent's really not going to do too much against it, so Stardust is good for monster protection, but I don't go into it that often. But the main two are Thought Ruler and Dark End, and these two are probably two of the MVP boss monsters of the deck. You know, you really need to go into them as fast as you can. But for Malicious, you can search him out with Elemental Hero Stratos. Basically, when you summon Stratos, add any hero monster to your hand. And then the way you get him in the graveyard is with this card, Destiny Draw. A lot of people know this engine. Basically, you play Destiny Draw, and it says discard a Destiny hero, which Malicious is. So it's in the graveyard, you draw 2 cards. Pretty fair trade. And then you get to banish him from the graveyard in order to special summon another copy from your deck. So you instantly get a level 6 on board in defense mode. Now this card is limited to 2, which stinks, and so is Destiny Draw right now. I hope one of them goes back to 3. More likely this guy. Or this card more likely than this. But I really hope this would go back to 3. But anyway, both of these guys special summon from the graveyard. Both of these guys can get on the board very, very easy. So this is an instant level 8. So, you know, that's kind of one of your main synchro plays. And this gets off so many times in the duel, you have no idea. I've literally had all 3 of these guys on the board at one time, only using, like, 2 or 3 cards. But it can happen, you know, it's a crazy game, and you get some good hands sometimes. Moving on to the random plays and exceeds. First off, we have Tour Guide. The ever-present amazingness Tour Guide. This card is actually really useful. Like I said, if you don't have Tour Guide, switch them out for Goblin Zombie and another Spirit Reaper for the Tour Bus. You know, it's really useful either way, but Tour Guide just generates a lot of advantage instantly. I mean, you can summon Tour Guide, bring out your Tour Bus, and then go into either number 30, Acid Golem of Destruction, if you just want a Beat Stick. Although be careful with this guy, because he does prevent you from special summoning. So you need to be really careful when you're going to play this, like, only if you're going to win. And then Levier the Sea Dragon. Now this card is awesome, because if you have the right setup, as in this banished, and this in your graveyard but not used yet, you can summon Levier, bring back Plague Spreader, then banish from Malicious, Synchro, Plague Spreader's still in the graveyard, and you still have this on the board, plus then you get into an instant level 8 like Dark End Dragon. That's freaking awesome. And at the cost of only 1 card, which is a Tour Guide, it's pretty cool. Plus, if you detach the Tour Bus, obviously you get to bounce something back to your deck. So what are you going to bounce back? Point, this guy right here. You're going to bounce the other one back to your deck so you can do it again, because you can reborn him, special him, sync 8. You know, it's really awesome. I mean, I know that's kind of late, and you're going to have to wait to detach this, because obviously this won't be in the graveyard when you detach this. And you don't want to get rid of this because, well, you know, it's the only one. But once this gets in the graveyard again, and the other one's banished, you're going to want to bounce it back to your deck, and then get the banished one back again if you can, and then that way you'll be able to synchro again. Sounds kind of weird, but there's actually some stuff you can do, like if you play Return from the Different Dimension, you can get this off so many times in a duel, it's insane. Next up, we have Reborn Tengu, this card that no one seems to play anymore. Basically, when it leaves the field, period, banished, destroyed, sent, return to hand, anything, synchro summon, exceed summon, well not exceed summon, but any of that gets you another Tengu straight from your deck. So it leaves, bingo, you get it right back. This card combos so well with everything, because even if it's destroyed, if they like Mirror Force or Torrential you get another one, which is sweet. It also works really well with Ginic Sally Birdman. Birdman says you can bounce a card to your hand to special summon him. If it's a wind monster, he gains 500, so he goes up to 1900 attack. So if you bounce Reborn Tengu, return a hand, summon Birdman, Tengu's effect goes off because it's mandatory, special summons another Tengu from the deck. You still have the same field. You just got a free monster that got an extra attack point boost, which is pretty cool. Plus, Ginic Sally Birdman's a tuner, so, you know, he kind of helps you with some of your synchro plays. He can get you level 7s, like Black Rose Dragon, but he does remove from play, so you got to be careful with that. But I mean, overall, you can even go into a different engine, which is with Plague Spreader over here and Tengu, because that'll get you straight into a Bryonic. And the Bryonic will then instantly get you the other Tengu from your deck because you synchroed with it. And then this guy will start clearing some field. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can really say. I mean, I think I covered most of the key combos from the deck. If you guys have anything else, or if you guys found something out from the deck profile yesterday and you liked it, please feel free to let me know. And if you guys want to see more segments like this, I can do one for my Dark World deck profile that I'm going to be doing pretty much right after this. That'll probably be up tomorrow or later this night. I have no idea. But anyway, I hope you guys really liked the video. Please like it, comment, letting me know if it helped you, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.